Oh, there we go. How it looks. Looks good. Hey, look at you, man. You're gonna be 50 years old. Mm-hmm. There she go.
How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay.
This is cool.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
completely different than the camera because my camera is here, but it looks like the camera for the platform is like somewhere over here. So I'm like trying to figure out where I'm supposed to look.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, welcome to the Prim Show.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. This platform basically deals with movies, particular horror genre, action, suspense. I do dive in other genres, but those are the main ones that I kind of cater to.
Awesome.
And I came across you through Lady Sasha, and she's an awesome sister who's very knowledgeable in the horror genre. And I seen it. You left a comment on my page when we had our little interview, and I went to your page, and I ended up watching like 3 of your videos. I have to say it was entertaining, but it was insightful because I think you was watching some movies and you were responding back like you saw through the screen, but it was very insightful. So, with this interview, basically, it's going to be me asking you questions. Some of the questions are going to be some serious ones. Some are going to be light, common, just to break it up because I don't want it to be everything's all serious and stuff like that. So
Right.
And then after that, I'm going to have a speed round where I'm asking some more questions, see if we can get them.
Oh gosh. Okay. So like no pressure there.
Yeah, no pressure, right? No pressure. Okay. So let's start with the first one. And the first one is I'll put it up there so whoever's watching can see it at the bottom. And that is, why isn't more black people into horror movies? What is your thought?
I think that's a misconception. There are a lot of Black people who are interested in horror movies. Like, for example, when Mama from I can't even pronounce his name. Germatello. I know I messed that up, but when me and my sister went to the theater, way back before when outside was legalized, that theater was packed with Black and brown people, and it was such a complete different experiences seeing that movie with those type of people around us. It was like family. So everybody was screaming at the screen and everybody was talking, and nobody was like shushing us. Like, it was completely different. But that movie theater, I think, sat around 70 people, and most of us were Black and brown. So I think it is a misconception that we don't watch horror movies, because we do. We not only do we watch them, we write them, we star in them. So I think that's just I don't think that's just a misconception. We do watch horror. I mean, you have your platform talking about horror. Lady Sasha, me, CMC Entertainment. He has a whole channel for horror movies. So we do watch horror. We love horror,
Yeah, because the only reason I say that, because I know in my family, I think it's just me and my aunt who watch horror. Everybody else is like, you know what? We're good. We'll stick with the typical action movie. So that's why I came with that question to ask you, and I'm glad that you answered that way, because that was a perfect, answer to that question.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go on to the next one, and
okay.
This one is more like a funny one, and if you know the question, please help me out. Why do people say hello when they're in danger in horror movies? It's just a death, this and that, and it's dark, and first thing, hello? Is anybody there? And the second part is, it's 2020, and why are people still falling in horror movies?
Those are really good questions. And since you've seen 3 of my videos, you've probably seen me screaming at the character to not talk to the monster or whoever's in the, I don't know. I think maybe now that I'm thinking about it, the whole hello is probably to confirm, hopefully, that you're by yourself. Because if you know that you're supposed to be in the house by yourself and the door's locked and you're hearing things and you're like, wait a minute. So maybe the hello is to try and reconfirm that you're alone, but then the non-answer kind of doesn't do anything to reassure you, because then all of a sudden it feels sinister. There's this sense of impending doom, because you locked that door. So then why is the kitchen refrigerator open? You know that you're in the house by yourself, so you're like, hello?
Yeah.
I think that's why.
It's funny too, because the other part to that is when they're looking at a dead body and then they hear a noise and they go, hello?
Right. Right. And I think it's just going, I guess it's kind of I know I'm not crazy, right? I know that I'm here by myself, right? Hello? I think that's where that comes from. And yeah, but that drives me crazy, because I always when I'm watching movies and the person is saying hello or make yourself known, I'm always screaming, don't talk to it, as you've seen in some of my videos. So I think now asked it and I've had a moment to kind of think about it, I think that's why people do that. And then
go ahead. What's about the falling? Every time they run, they fall. What's going on? It's 2021. We still falling. Oh, there it is. They still falling.
I have nothing. I have nothing. Okay. Because if you watched a review of mine that I did, All Girls Weekend. And it's a campy, hikey slasher movie. And one of the girls is running for her life and she falls. And I'm like, did you fall on the air? What? They always fall. So yeah, I don't understand. There was an old YouTube creator. I can't remember what his name was, but if you look up why white women always die in horror movies. And so he does this whole segment. He has this, the final girl, he's got Jason, he's another Black content creator. And he shows every single step that the female character does in a horror movie that infuriates us. And so when she falls, he's like, See what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's incredible.
exactly.
So if you guys can find it, it's Why White Women Always Die in Horror Movies. He's hilarious.
Okay, so let me move on to the next question for you, and that is, do you enjoy the older classic horror movies or the recent ones, or do you enjoy both? Like,
I enjoy both, especially depending on what movie it is. Like Lady Sasha and I, we're going to do another segment, and we are watching movies that are similar. And so I watched 1977, The Pack, which is a dog story, creature feature movie. And then what she watched is A White God, another dog movie. And they both are like extremely really good because of the way that they're shot at the time. You can see like in older movies, there's not a lot of CG and special effects. And so the actors have to bring it. The storyline has to be engaging to keep people involved in a movie for, an hour and 40 minutes. The new movies are sometimes, though, it can be a little bit too much with like too much gore or too much special effects. I think they overdo it because they have the budget and then the technology, and things have become more accessible to filmmakers because the equipment is not so expensive as it used to be. Mm-hmm. So it just depends. I like them both. There are some movies in present that I really, really like. A lot of the films that are coming out of the studio, A24, like that's almost a given. Those movies are really good. Blumhouse is another production company that if I see that, I'm watching it no matter what. Mm-hmm. But there are some new ones that are just like, so my biggest pet peeve when it comes to movies is people doing stuff they shouldn't do. And so, I didn't watch it because I don't, if the trailer shows people doing stupid stuff, I don't watch it. And the movie was a bunch of people in a Zoom meeting that did a seance over Zoom. So they've created a virtual circle, which don't have the same rules as the circle drawn with salt. And so like,
I think I've seen that movie too.
I can't remember the name of it just because I didn't watch it. And so like, that's kind of like, you guys are like in your late teens, early 20s. You've seen all these movies, you know the deal. Why are you still doing this? Like, you know it's gonna happen. You already know. Like, and then why would you like have a circle and then break it the minute something happens? You guys performed a seance and something answered you. Why are you running away? Did you do a banishing spell? No, of course you didn't. That's why you're not going to get away from it. And so some of the newer movies, their concepts are not as engaging. And then some of these franchises where they have Friday the 13th, Part 26, like it's gone on too far.
Okay, so what I'm gathering is that you do like the older horror movies where it was well crafted, opposed to I got a little dog here. Huh?
Yeah, she thinks she's a bull mastiff. Sierra. It's okay, we're safe. Shh. You know what's cool about having a dog watching horror movies is she bark like how she's barking now when we're watching horror movies and I'm screaming at the person. She screams right at them too. And I'm not kidding. And I don't know if you've seen it's not older. It was the early Sierra, the early 2000s called Moon Phases, where a blind man had a seeing eye dog, and there was a werewolf that was coming to attack him. And so my dog she was trying to help the German Shepherd who was fighting the werewolf. She flew from the couch and she jumped up and put her paws on my flat screen TV and it teetered. And I was like, my dog just killed herself over a movie. But she was like so into it, and she was like trying to save the German Shepherd who didn't do well against the werewolf.
All right. So the next question for you, this one is more of a light, funny one, is why is Jason still catching people that has like a half football field ahead of him? Like, no matter how far you run from Jason, he catches you.
He really does. And I think suspending physics in horror is also another way to like ratchet up the terror, because you can be like Jackie Joyner and just be gone, right?
Yeah.
700, meters in 2.5 minutes. You stop to catch your breath and you can still hear the music and his footsteps. He's right there. So like, I think, it just seems, it makes an open, wide, expansive area, almost like an enclosed environment, because you're not going to get away. Like, you're not going to get away. You're either going to have to fight and hope that you can somehow get the upper hand, which most people don't, or you're going to have to like outsmart him, because you're just not going to get away. That's just not how that universe works.
So the next question I have for you is, who are some of your favorite horror directors?
Okay. That's really hard, because I don't follow directors the way that I follow like actors. But one of the cool things, like my favorite part, or like what I enjoy most about directors when they do like certain things, like when they don't show the monster and allow us to have our imagination fill in the gaps. I like when they show different things to like highlight how maybe isolated or desperate, or if that character's in a really bad spot. And I like directors who like follow the old school way of storytelling. Like one of my favorite movies is the French version, the original Inside, because that director used shadow and sound and created those two elements were like a character of their own, just like in the movie. I haven't seen the second one, but like The Silent Place, like the silence was a character, and using different elements like that is really what draws like me in. Like I like when they're showing the cinematography, or like when things are just right off the camera, so like you're like looking around even though you can't see anything. Like I like that technique of directing where it really makes you use your imagination to fill in the gaps. Kind of like how Albert Hitchcock shot his films, like, because you just don't know. There's I can't remember which movie it was, but it was about a best friend, and he found out his best friend was the rapist that everybody was looking for. And in that scene, there's a rape, and it's in black and white, and it's so horrific, and that's all you see throughout the whole entire horrific act, and it just really draws you in, because you can only imagine. That's because he's not showing you anything, so you're left to imagine what's going on.
Cool, great answer. All right, so this one is a fun one. Why do people yell at the screen like people can hear them?
I know. So I know. I don't even understand that myself. Like in a movie that I reviewed called What Keeps You Alive.
Yeah, but I do it sometimes myself. I catch myself, or my lady does it sometimes. So I'm guilty of this.
I think you just can't help it. Like in the movie that I reviewed called What Keeps You Alive, the victim, the villain told the victim, if you do this, I'll kill them all. And so she did what she wasn't supposed to do. And so she knows that her immediate help, they're all dead, and she's screaming for them anyway. I don't know. I think that once you get to that place of just terror and desperateness, and when you start to like fight instead of flight, that's just like, I think it's almost instinctual. Like you're like, doing everything you can to stay alive. And I think that's why people scream when they know no one can hear them. Like you are in a basement, like a Cloverfield incident. She's in a bunker, like surrounded by concrete. No one can hear you. Nobody. Why are you screaming?
Okay, so here's the next one for you. Which horror series you like? Is it Creepshow, or do you go for Tales from the Crypt?
I like them both. When they're done well, I could like them both. Like one of the things that I kind of didn't like with Saw is after the third. So Saw, the original Saw was really good. The second one was good, super good. The third one was like, I was like, what? And then after that, it kind of just goes down, like with the U-turns. Like I just saw a trailer for another U-turn, and
They rebooted it. Yeah.
Like some of these movies need to stop. Like a lot of people who are like trying to like secure the bag, I guess, or like go on a money grab, they don't know when to stop. Like The Collector was so good. That first movie was so good that I haven't seen the second or the third one because I don't want them to mess it up, right? Like if it's really good, it can be a standalone. Or if it's a really strong, like part 1, 2, and 3, then leave it at that. But like, why are we still having a wrong turn or U-turn? Like, why? Is it U-turn or wrong turn? I don't remember.
I mean, wrong turn.
Yeah. And then like, why are we still doing Friday? How did Jason get into space? Like, I haven't been watching them because it's just like, with The Walking Dead, it drags on and on and on and on, and it's just getting over the top now. It's kind of ridiculous.
No, I agree with you. All right, so the next question I have for you is, which female lead horror movie you enjoyed? I'm going with The Descent. I enjoyed that one. I definitely enjoyed The Descent.
The thing about The Descent that made me really mad was the way they treated their character of color, how quickly they all turned on her and left her there when she was trying to help everybody. The Descent 2, that's how you do a second part to something. The Descent 2, I was cheering and I was like throwing my pillow at the TV. It was like super good, but like The Descent would be way on the top of that. That's going to be a hard one too. That's kind of a hard act to follow. So let me think. So there's The Descent. Oh my gosh. I think I'm gonna just have to agree with you because I can't think of another all-female. All-Female Weekend is really good.
Have you seen this one called Ready or Not?
No, I haven't.
No. I think it's called Ready or Not, where she goes to her
wedding party.
House. Huh?
It's at her wedding, the wedding dinner.
Oh no, not that one. Not that one. I think it's called Ready or Not, but she goes to her boyfriend in-laws house, or not in-laws, her boyfriend family house, and they get attacked, and she's the only one that has this.
You're next.
Okay.
Yeah, I loved You're Next.
That's a good one. That's a good one too.
That's super good. She was so smart, and then the ending, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So that was really good. Yeah. Oh my gosh, the first 28 days later, and then Sweetheart.
Sweetheart is awesome. I think it's underrated.
It's extremely underrated. I was just like, when I was reviewing that movie, I think I said out loud, if this Girl Scout doesn't get away from this elder god, I'm gonna be so mad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she knew all the knots. She knew everything that she needed to do. And and then I'm gonna go with the first 28 days later because she was just so smart. She was a chemist. She was strong. She knew how to lead. She was vulnerable. Like I really, really, really enjoyed watching her in that movie, along with Alien versus Predator. Yes, that was really good. That was super good.
So the next question I have for you is, what got you into writing horror books, and how long have you been writing?
Well, I always told like really creepy stories for my friends and my family. It was just something that I think that I've always done. I wasn't thinking that I was going to grow up and become a horror writer. But incidentally, when I did, nobody in my inner circle was surprised. And how it came to be is
I wasn't surprised?
No, let me tell you, when I signed my contract, I called my mom and I was like, I just signed a book deal. And my mom was like, oh yeah, like that, about time. And I was like, wait, what?
Really?
And then I called my best friend. I'm like, dude, I just signed a book deal. And she's like, oh, well, that's cool. Like, why are you surprised? And I was like, why are you guys surprised? Like, what's happening? And so I was a welder in a small shipyard in Seattle. And the guys knew that I wrote they're like, you need to go and talk to the welding instructor because he writes too. And for some reason, for a couple of days, I just didn't, right? I don't know why. And he was an intimidating guy. He's like 6'4", really big, like the kind of guy you would think that would be working in a shipyard, right? All of them were, but he was just like, and because he's a little older, he wasn't like slap-assing like, the other guys in the main shop were. And, so I was just like, I don't know. And so then like, eventually he came up to me and he's like, hey, I heard you write. I want to take a look at some of your work. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll bring you a short story tomorrow that you can read. And so he took it home. He read it on the ferry. He let his wife read it. And when he came back to work, he was angry. He was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, it's my shift. Like, what are you talking about? And then he was like, you need to quit your job and start taking your writing seriously. And he was like, and you're a lazy writer because this is not a short story. He's like, stop taking it for granted. But I was absolutely on the offensive because one, it wasn't like, his tone was like, I mean, he was really angry. He took it personal that, that I was pissing my talent away. That's what he said. And so at first it was a big wall. I'm like, nope, you're not going to talk to me like that. Who do you think you are? Right. And so, but during the day, as I started to calm down and really like think about what he said, he didn't say, keep your day job. Right. He told me to quit a job where I was making $38 an hour. And he didn't say that I was a bad writer. He said that I was lazy, which I think that's what made me mad to begin with, not the yelling, because people yell in shipyards all the time. And we use the colorful language that sailors and people who work close to sailors do, right? So that part was, now that I'm thinking about it, that's not what made me mad. It was because, he didn't tell me I was the greatest, writer since the four, whatever, right? And so when I started to think about it, and then so I hired an editor. I just like found an editor off Craigslist, and we were working together for a while, but she got to a point in the story where she couldn't go on and she couldn't stop thinking about it. And so she gave it to someone else, but she called me. She's like, hey, look, I can't. So her backstory was she used to be a technical editor and she wanted to break out on some more creative editing. And so
what is a technical editor? What is that?
So they do stuff like textbooks and
textbook. Okay.
Yeah, so they're like academia, right? Even though you can still do creative writing and academia, but I was her first creative writer client, and subtle, slow building horror affects people in different ways. And so she got to the point where she just could not go on because the scene that she had just edited really affected her. And so she's like, I want you to come and meet her and so that, I'm not just going to kick you off and have you struggle. She's my friend. This is what she does, come and meet her. So here I am. I go to what I think is going to be like a coffee shop meeting. So I have on jeans, flip-flops, a t-shirt, and I had like 2 pieces of bubble yubble in my mouth because I like my bubbles really big, right? And so I get to the address and it's not a coffee shop. It's a small publishing firm in Seattle. And I walk in and there's my editor and then the owner of the editing firm, and just imagine like an older woman with like that still gray hair and a tight bun with her pearls and, her pursed lips with her red lipstick. And then there was the editor in chief and then the senior editor, which was her son and her daughter-in-law. And so here I am walking to a business meeting like I was like getting ready to go to Target. And so she asked me, she's like, do you know how this story ends? And I was like, I do. I've also started writing the second part of this series. And she's like, we know we'll get our money back from you. And so then she like had this paper on her desk and she's like, slides it over and she's like, we'd like to sign you. And so here I am, like with a mouthful of gum and flip-flops and jeans, right? Signing a publishing deal. And so that's why I was like so astonished. Like literally, my head was spinning and I stumbled out there and the first person I called was my mom. And she's like, oh, okay, did you want potatoes for dinner? But even though I was like, wait, what? And so then every person that I called, they were happy, but they weren't ecstatic because they were waiting for it to happen. Like, and the reason it did happen was because your family and friends are supposed to tell you you're good, right? That's how we get all these people on, America's Got Talent, and they're like, everyone's like, why are you here? Because their friends and family pumped them up. He was the first person outside my family of circle. He had no emotional investment in me, and he is the one who gave me the idea that I could be a writer. And boy, was he right. The story I gave him was not a short story. It ended up being almost 800,000 word trilogy. So I owe my writing career to him.
So the next question I have for you is, do you have a library of horror movies and books?
Yeah, I do.
How many?
I just got more books. Like, I'm also like, I write science fiction as well. And like, sometimes I wish, even though I know all the perils about cloning people, but I wish I can clone myself and have my other self sit down and read all the books I have, all the books on my wish list, and then tell me about it. Like, so that I can like get other stuff done, right? Like, I was like looking at all the books on my Amazon wish list, and I wouldn't even if I lived to be like 150 and I read 3 whole books a week, I wouldn't be able to read them all. And so I started cheating, and I started watching the Cliff Notes, which are the movies.
All right, that's definitely cool. Your movies. How many movies do you think you have in your library? I see you looked over there.
I have quite a bit, because not only do I watch them for my own entertainment, I'm a staff writer for Horror Addicts, and I review movies there as well. So I have quite a bit. I have a huge collection of movies.
Okay, so when you say you're a staff writer for Horror Addict, what is that? Do you want to talk more about that? Elaborate on it more?
Mm-hmm. So, as you've seen a couple of my videos, when I first started reviewing horror movies, they were called, and I was posting them on my blog called the DVD Pick of the Week. But even before then, when I was even before I started like officially reviewing movies, I would watch a horror movie and I would scream something on the TV, and then I would write a status update on Facebook. And so everyone would be like, but they didn't know what was going on. Like one of the things that I said a couple of years ago was when your kid says there's something in the attic, grab the kid, the dog, and the person, burn the house down. Why are we still talking about this, right? And so people are like, what in the world is going on? And so like I would have all these random posts like that because I'd be watching a horror movie, and then once people understood like what I was doing, then they'd be like, don't post this without the movie title, or like, tell me what movie this is. And so then my family and my Facebook friends and fans were like, you need to start reviewing horror movies because this is ridiculous. You have us sitting on the edge of our seat and we don't even know what's going on. And so then that's how the DVD Pick of the Week became a thing. So instead of me screaming, I was still screaming at the horror people at the horror screen, but instead of posting it on Facebook, I would be entry 1. Why are you going in the basement? Entry 2. This house is too cheap for this neighborhood. Go find a local historian and find out what happened in your house, right? And I would just do that for however many times I would scream something at the TV. And then at the end, I would write my commentary, like the plot, the scariness factor, like all that. And so that's how I garnered the attention of horror addicts. And they're like, hey, we want you to review for us. Like, what do you think about that? And I was like, me? So of course, that's what I did. And so for the first 4 or 5 years, my reviews were just that, exactly the way I had them on my blog, except for they went from the DVD Pick of the Week to live action reviews because someone commented on Facebook. They're like, we love your live action reviews. And so I was like, that's my thing. And so I did that and another thing that is really cool about working for Horror Addicts is they assign me films. And there are a lot of movies that I wouldn't watch on my own just based on the trailer or the small synopsis, but I would have missed out on some gems. And I got an assignment for a short movie called Never Tear Us Apart. And it was like such a short film that what I did is I watched it on my phone and I filmed myself screaming at the characters. And then I just told everybody what I thought. And that video, I think it's like less than 10 minutes from the beginning to the end, got so much feedback that everyone was like, this is how you have to review movies from now on. Are you kidding? This was a blast. And so then that's how the live action reviews that you're used to seeing now, that's how that came to be. And so I think that was like in 2018, 10, or like way back, that's when I started doing that. And so everyone loves them. Like, and it's like, yeah. So that's how that came about, screaming at the screen and having people watch me scream at the horror movie.
So the next question I have for you is, what movies in 2021 that are you looking forward to seeing?
Oh gosh, Antlers would be one.
That looks good. That looks really good.
There's one. I can't remember the name, but it's a priest in training. It's I love occult horror, religious horror, secret society films. And so there's a movie with Guy Pearce, who is the priest, and I'm gonna just look it up real quick. That looks like ridiculously good. I can't wait to see that. So hold on, I'm sorry. I should have, there's no way that I could have prepared for this question. I didn't know you were gonna ask it. So hold on.
So while you're looking for that, I guess I could talk a little bit. So basically, the movies I'm looking forward to seeing is A Quiet Place Part 2.
I kind of almost want to see that too. I saw the trailer for it and I was like, okay, I might be able to do this. Like, that looks really good.
And then I definitely want to see Candyman. I forgot the female director, sister who made it, but I'm looking forward to that one. So definitely want to see Candyman.
I like, because it has like such a more diverse character. The movie that I'm looking forward to watching with Guy Pearce is The Seventh Day. If you have a chance, like, check out that trailer. It looks insane.
Okay. So.
Oh no.
So we're at the speed round.
Okay.
We'll ask you a couple of questions.
Rapid fire questions.
Rapid fire.
Okay.
And this is all fun.
Okay.
All fun. So let's get into it. Set in London, what's the name of the virus that killed a population in the name of the film?
Can you ask the question again?
Set in London, what's the name of the virus that killed a population in the name of the film?
28 Days Later.
Yes.
And then the virus was, I don't know.
They call it the Rage.
Oh my God! I knew that. Dang it. Okay.
Okay. So moving on. Which Australian actor played Kurt in Cabins in the Woods? He's a famous Australian actor.
He's the guy who played Thor, right?
Yes.
I don't know
Chris
his name.
Hemsworth.
I know the actor.
Yes, Chris.
Does that count?
Yeah, that counts.
Does that count?
That counts.
Okay.
So the next one I have for you is, in what film do you see a family living in silence from monsters?
A Quiet Place.
Yes.
What, isn't there another one? There's another one. Hold on.
But that's the answer, though.
But remember the one with the like pterodactyl looking monsters?
Yeah, that one was on Netflix. Oh man, I don't know the name of it, but I remember the actor and how.
The actress was the girl who was in Sabrina, the Teenage Witch.
Yeah, actually, the father was in the movie The Devil Wears Prada. He was in that.
He was also the guy from the meth making lab guy. Now I need to look it up.
He was in Hunger Games.
Okay, so is that her? No. Hold on. I'll let you know what it is. Oh my God, where is she? Okay, I can't think of the actress's name. Well, what else was she in? But yeah, now I'm gonna be like stuck thinking about that movie. Because like they were in the truck and the dog was barking, and I'm like, get rid of that dog because they all flew in and yeah, like gosh, that was another movie where they had to be quiet. But okay, The Quiet Place.
Okay. So the next question I have for you is this. What film set in Barcelona follows a TV reporter and a cameraman into a nightmarish apartment building?
Record.
Yes. Wreck. Oh, you're good.
That was really good. Like I'm not a fan of found footage films,
And
but
that movie
that,
that
I was just like, oh my God, that was so good. So good.
Yeah. And that movie you're talking about is called The Silence. That's
Thank you. The Silence. Okay.
Okay.
I get a bonus round. I should get an extra point for that since I knew that movie and didn't know the name of the virus rage.
Okay. So the next one I have for you is, how many times do you have to say Candyman before he appears?
I don't know because I'm not saying it.
It's 5.
Oh, okay.
It's 5. All right. In what film open up a puzzle box lead you to the meeting of the Cenobites? What's the name of the movie?
Hold on, because I can see him. Like, we will bring you pain. Oh my God, hold on. Hellraisers.
There you go. You're knocking this out the park. You're doing good. Who directed?
Is there more?
Yeah, I got a couple more for you.
Okay.
Who directed the movie The Birds?
Albert Hitchcock.
Yeah, you're right. In what film do 5 students find the Book of the Dead?
The Evil Dead?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. They coming to get you, Barbara. What's the name of that film?
Night of the Living Dead.
There you go. Last but not least, how did the vigilante mob kill Freddy Krueger?
They set him on fire.
There you go.
That was actually kind of fun, but super hard. I was just like, oh no. That was fun. That was super fun.
All right. Well, listen, I won't hold you up no more. I'm definitely glad that you took part in my show. There will be more stuff I would like to have to do with you.
Okay.
As always, have a good day. And Crystal, I really appreciate this.
Thank you so much for having me on. This was so much fun.
Don't worry, it's going to be more questions and more stuff for you to do.
Okay.
All right. Talk later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That was